People can actually die from a broken heart. I'm an intuitive health medium, and I can see where people trap trauma energetically and how it manifests into illness. I'm going to talk about heart failure, cardiovascular disease, and where that manifests from in trauma, as well as the behaviors attached to this issue. There are so many things that can affect the heart, so I'm going to focus on what I see the most as an intuitive health medium with my clients. And the heartache that I see the most is the death of a loved one and the ending of a relationship, whether it's a marriage or a relationship. That is where I see the heart take the most extreme devastation, especially with death when it's unexpected, like a stroke, car accident, something very unexpected where they just get that phone call that their loved one passed away. It just wreaks havoc on the heart, both energetically and physically. So the habits that come through, I'll start with the most common one: comfort eating, snacking at night, craving sweets, craving salty foods. Where that's going is your heart energetically is suffering. So there's just no way to fill that void because that person's gone. So it's like you just feel a void, and your body naturally seeks out a source to feel loved. Sweets and chocolate, especially chocolate itself, our body hormonally and chemically, just everything in general, reacts as if we've been hugged when we eat chocolate and sweets. So the comfort eating comes in because it gives us that sense of love through our body reacting as if we've been hugged, but we never actually get that void filled because we're trying to replace something that's lost and is not coming back. We're trying to replace that with our body's chemical reaction to food. The next one that I see is smoking. And the reason for this is because when someone experiences a very quick, traumatic, like ripping is the way I see it in their energy, like the event, the relationship, the person was ripped out of their life, they experience that. They panic. And so what happens is they hold on to that tension, and they start holding stress and tension, like daily stress and tension in their chest. And they start shallow breathing, or they breathe uneven, which manifests into heart palpitations and blood pressure issues. But what's happening is the cigarette craving. The body's craving that cigarette because it's the one thing that makes you control your breathing. You have to inhale slow and exhale slow, and that puts your breathing back in rhythm. So yeah, it is about the nicotine. It's addictive, but what's really addictive is the calm that it brings your body when you're inhaling on that cigarette and then exhaling. It forces you to breathe slow because otherwise you're taking short, choppy breaths, you're shallow breathing, you're almost like in a state of panic, even though the event that hurt your heart, it could have been 10 years ago, but you're still in that panic reactive state of holding that stress in your chest. The next habit I see is people pleasing, and this one usually takes me back to childhood where there was literally no love in the childhood home, like the parents were very dismissive, but I also see it in a form of grief where people start doing people pleasing. They can't stop saying no to people, and they don't set boundaries, and they also feel an extreme amount of guilt if they have to say no or they do something special for themselves. They're in a constant state of people pleasing, and that's a reactive state again to feel loved. They are literally trying to seek out love in other people by doing everything for everybody, but what happens is it brings out the energy vampires, and people start taking advantage of them, and then they suffer because they can't put up boundaries because that creates guilt, and it's this vicious cycle of doing too much for people, not doing anything for yourself, and it depletes your energy even more. So it just keeps going until that person realizes, hey, I need to set boundaries. Now, the next one that I see that I would love to know if this applies to you because it's so unusual, but I see it all the time: creases in your earlobes. If you've suffered significantly a trauma to the heart energy and it's manifesting into illness in your actual heart, you'll start getting creases in your earlobes. And the creases are actually called Frank's sign. It's called a thing. It's called Frank's sign. It's scientifically proven. As you start to suffer both in health and energetically, you'll get creases in your earlobes. So if you've suffered significantly in the heart, pay attention to your behaviors and pay attention to how you're reacting to things, because it is so common for us to stay in that reactive state because we react so quick. It's a subconscious thing. We don't even realize we're doing it. We're just reacting to that event that traumatized our heart, and backpedal on those events, backpedal on those behaviors, and be an observer in that event so you can correct what you're doing, because it's subconscious behavior. So you have to dig into yourself and find it, and then start reversing those behaviors so you can recondition your mind to live in a space knowing that even though that person is gone, or that event that you were energetically attached to through love is gone, you can still live in the mindset of knowing that you're okay and that you survived and you worked through it.